This might just be the most epic drive in the Grand Canyon you've never heard of. We're traveling in our Jeep on an off-road 4x4 adventure to the spectacular Point Sublime. Then we'll drool over jaw-dropping views at Cape Royal. Oh, and we're doing it all from our big rig RV, nestled in the Whispering Pine Forests at the Grand Canyon North Rim Gateway, Jacob Lake. This one's going to be fun. Let's hit the road. We're Natalie and Brian. We're traveling the scenic Highway 89 on a 1,900-mile Canada to Mexico big rig RV road trip travel adventure. This stop, we travel to Jacob Lake, the gateway town to the North Rim Grand Canyon. We'll also test our off-road skills as we travel on weather-damaged 4x4 trails to the spectacular Point Sublime. Come along with us on our big rig RV road trip travel adventure as we continue south on the scenic byway, Highway 89.
We have just left KANAB, the Hitch and Post RV park in KANAB, and we're heading south on Highway 89. Actually 89A, and we're heading to Jacob Lake, which is kind of the gateway to the North Rim of the Grand Canyon. So it's not that far of a drive today, but it is still a drive day because we had to move the rig. So here we go. We're moving on to the Grand Canyon area.
Heading south.
A place we've been to before and we really like it. So just south of KANAB is Arizona. So we're just about to come into Fredonia, but Arizona is our last state on our Highway 89 tour because Arizona 89 will go all the way to the Mexican border. So for the next few weeks, we are going to be in Arizona. So here we are, heading on to Arizona. Yes, this is state number 5.
State 5, Brandon.
State number 5, here we are.
6,000 feet going up. Gotta get on top of this basin. Because on the other side is the Grand Canyon.
The other side of this.
Our epic big rig RV road trip adventure brings us on Highway 89A, the more direct route from KANAB to the Grand Canyon North Rim, and our next stop at Jacob Lake Campground in Jacob Lake. It's less than 40 miles to the campground, so we take our time and stop at the top of the climb at the fantastic viewing area La Favre Overlook.
It wasn't that long ago that we were in Bryce Canyon and we were standing at the very edge and we were wondering what's over here and how far is the view from Bryce Canyon. And now this is a better representation from Bryce Canyon and what we're seeing the opposite side from Bryce Canyon. So I like seeing this because it really points it out.
And you can see it.
And you can see Bryce Canyon from here, and that's pretty cool.
They have a pink, a gray, a white, a vermilion, and a chocolate color. All the different colors of the cliffs.
Right, and that's why it's called the Grand Staircase, because it's all these different little plateaus in different colors.
Yeah.
The Grand Staircase.
We had planned on an early lunch here, but some groundskeepers showed up and parked right next to us and fired up their chainsaws. That's okay. We'll let them go to work. We'll just continue the short distance up the road to Jacob Lake. Jacob Lake is a very small town located at the intersection of Highway 89A and Route 67, the Grand Canyon Highway. Here you'll find the KANAB Plateau Visitor Center, a gas station, and the Jacob Lake Inn. You need to drive past this establishment before heading into the national park. It makes a perfect location to grab a rustic homemade meal in the dining room or a snack at the cafe. Some recipes have been on the menu for over 50 years. We'll probably go back to pick up some world-famous cookies for dessert. Jacob Lake Campground is just down the street. It's a Forest Service campground, so no hookups, no water, and no dump station. But the sites are nicely spaced apart, and most are deep enough for big rigs. But some of them aren't quite level. As I pull into our site, I assess our camp spot. We picked this spot because we used it a couple years ago. It just doesn't look as level as we remember it. It seems like the further to the rear I can go, the flatter it will be.
We've got about 6 feet to go back. Maybe 5. Let me go to driver. Hold on, let me go to driver. I think you can still go back 3 feet. Okay, I'm checking where you are versus the stopper. Okay. Yeah, you sure look nose down.
All 3 steps.
It took just a little more time to get set up, but once we were settled, we headed back to the inn for some cookies.
The pumpkin.
Can you taste it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
What do you think?
Tomorrow will be epic as we head on a dirt road to Point Sublime, one of my favorite places on the canyon rim. I can't wait.
Come on, Papa. I know, come on.
Ah, it was another fine evening, with the pine trees whispering all night long. Before we depart for the day, we need to make room for our lunch supplies and Kenai, so we can head off on our Jeep 4x4 off-road adventure.
You ready to go? Okay, come on, bring your ball. Bring your ball. Yeah, bring your ball, come on. Nope, in the back, jump. Yep, jump. There you go. Got your ball? You got your ball? You ready to go for a ride? Okay, we're gonna go for a ride, puppy. Point Sublime. We're gonna hit Point Sublime today, puppy. You've been there once before already. But we're going again. Closing up. Doggy, you back there?
Dog?
Door's locked.
Okay, spare
We got
keys.
food. We got
Here's the pass is
the
in
pass.
here.
Okay. We got the tablet. Let's start that up
Okay.
and get that going.
Okay.
I don't know. I think I'm ready to go to Point Sublime.
Record. It's Point Sublime.
All right.
Let's do that. Okay, so I hit the record button.
Yep. That's
Okay.
it. Here we come.
Doors are open. That's what that is. Wow, wow, wow. I got that on film, Nebraska. Didn't even look. And And that was open yesterday.
Hi, how you doing?
Good morning,
Thank you. A map for you?
please. I'm sure it
Hey.
hasn't changed, but
All right. Yep. Enjoy.
you
Thank
too.
you. Never seen buffalo here on the North Rim before, but apparently there are buffalo here. I don't know if you can see them.
I can zoom in.
Okay. Buffalo, yes.
It's about a 45-minute drive from Jacob Lake to the North Rim Lodge. We took advantage of the facilities for a quick pit stop before heading out into the wilderness. Even Kenai made her presence known. We turned onto an access road that crossed paths with the Arizona National Scenic Hiking Trail. It was a good place to air down. Then we started our adventure on the Point Sublime Trail, a 4x4 dirt road that will take us to the edge of the Grand Canyon.
Point Sublime Trail, finally.
We're off.
After a little trouble on our left rear.
We're off.
Let's see what the air pressure works out to on the Jeep's gauges here in a little bit. We're off.
The best time to put it in four-wheel drive is before you need it.
Yep.
Right?
The off-road trail started out just like it was 3 years ago when we first drove out to Point Sublime. But soon it got steadily worse, with lots of big downed trees scattered beside the dirt road. Then the ruts from the monsoon rainstorm started to appear. It made the going a bunch slower than we expected. I'm sure glad we had 35s on our Jeep.
That looked a little tough there for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually, we got to the first Canyon Edge feature of the day. It's an awesome stop. Don't miss it.
Well, that ride here so far, I think is a little rougher than it was 3.5 years ago.
It's a short but spectacular drive to the point. There's a pit toilet out here, and with permits you can spend the night. That's something I want to do someday. Can you imagine what the stars might look like? We pulled into a nice shady spot and set up for lunch. While we were getting ready, a Ford Bronco pulled up and 2 Rangers got out. I was hoping we didn't do anything wrong. They started chatting with us, and it proved to be very interesting.
I think it's 1883.
1883.
Yeah, there was a expedition out here led by Clarence Dutton, who was a geologist, and had a painter with him, a guy named Clarence, I think, Holmes. And they did this triptych, which you can see these things right here. This is the first one, from Point Sublime, and that's the second one.
Wow.
And then the third one. So this basically the entire panorama.
Yep.
That looks great.
Aren't these fabulous?
Yeah.
And they became, I was telling JD about this, they became the first really accurate imagery of the Grand Canyon that then
For the rest of the world to see.
for the rest of the world to see.
Yeah.
And it inspired so much exploration, and we got to send the railroad out there, and Teddy Roosevelt came out, and people saying like, holy cow,
Yeah.
this is incredible.
Yeah.
And led to tourism and mining and all that kind of stuff, and the history just went from there. So these are the ones.
The ones that started it. And so now you're reproducing them in real life,
Rephotographing, yeah.
current.
Yeah. And then it goes on the park website, and I'm not sure how we're going to do the triptych, probably one at a time, because it's too much for the website to do them all together. But
Sure.
so there's a slider that goes back and forth between
Ah,
the
yeah,
old
yeah.
and the new.
Old and
It's
new.
really cool.
Wow.
Of what you've done so far, how much has changed?
Well, most of so
I mean, it's what, 100 years, 120 years,
Almost 150 years.
150 years?
Powell's first expedition was 1871.
Okay.
A bunch of people died on that expedition, so they didn't make it anywhere close to down this area. But then they came back the next year, better funded, better equipped, and made it all the way down to the Gulf of California. But let's not forget, the Native Americans have been rafting and exploring
Forever.
this area. I mean,
For hundreds.
thousands, 25,000 years, according to University of California researchers.
Well,
One of the early exploration rafting trips was to determine where to put dams in the Grand Canyon.
Sure.
Fortunately, they didn't build any of those, but they did build a couple.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a couple, yeah.
Screwed it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I'll put a link down below in the description if I can find his work. Once we were done talking, we finished our lunch and hung out a bit. It took quite a bit longer to get here. Over 3 hours, the trail was so bad. Our conversation with the Rangers helped us make a decision to try a different route back to camp. It turned out to be a little less fun, but an hour shorter. Perfect for us to get back before dark.
Point Sublime is spectacular.
It is, and I'm just saying the whole Grand Canyon in general, or most of it, it looks fake. It looks Disney fake because it's just that grand and that magnificent. And it's just hard to believe that it exists. And it, as much as we go to see it, this is our 3rd time this year to see the Grand Canyon. Our 3rd time this year. And I'll come back again because it is that spectacular.
Point Sublime takes all day to get there and back. We left pretty early, and look at the shadows, it's gotten pretty late. It's been a long day, but it's been a great day. It's also good to be back in one piece. Jacob Lake Campground is situated in a great spot. Although there's campgrounds closer to the park entrance, we enjoy this one a lot. Our big rig RV is named Basecamp, and for good reason. We use it as a base camp regularly. We have enough batteries and holding tanks to last a good 4 or 5 days dry camping. Next time, we'll attempt some boondocking we found in the area. But that's next time. This time it'll be tacos from the taco truck in front of the inn. And then a nice quiet evening chatting about if we can top today's fun tomorrow.
All right, good morning. We had a beautiful, nice, cool night last night. And now we're packing up to head to North Rim Grand Canyon. So let's go.
Today we'll be exploring the Cape Royal area of the Grand Canyon. We head that way and stop where the Ken Patrick Trail crosses the Cape Royal Road for a quick canyon view. Once again, it's simply stunning. We'll spend the morning bebopping around. There's a lot of pullouts and viewing areas to visit. We want to see them all.
We are at Angel's Window Point.
Nice.
Never been here before. This is great.
Yeah, you doing okay, doggy?
She is. She's just watching everybody go by.
Okay. This is Walhalla's viewpoint. I think this is the start, basically, of the Grand Canyon. Because there's a plateau right over there, and if we go any further, which we are going towards the other point that's over here, we'll see maybe even more of the start of the Grand Canyon. But North Rim Lodge is way the heck down that way. So we're quite a ways north of or east of the North Rim Lodge. Anyway, Grand Canyon, ain't it grand?
We're here.
Ain't it?
Yep.
Back at the North Rim Lodge area for a quick pit stop, we wander around. The lodge here is located on the edge of the rim and has fantastic views from the huge picture windows. Definitely stop and give it a tour. And the patio is a great place to relax after a long day hiking. On our way back to camp, we stumble on another dirt road. Where does it go, I wonder?
This is kind of neat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. This was the 4-mile trip down the dirt road. It's a nice overlook.
It's beautiful. It's not the Grand Canyon, but it is the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
What do you think, puppy? Is this the Arizona Trail? Are you sitting on the Arizona Trail? Nice.
Whew! What an awesome time we've had here in Jacob Lake and the north rim of the Grand Canyon. We'll be leaving tomorrow for something a little different. Well, maybe not that much. Page, Arizona, and some fantastic sights in and around the town. Come on, let's hit the road.